We will reserve a few minutes at the end for that Q&A that I mentioned, so don't forget to chat in your questions as we go along. So you've probably heard about this new Rtc360 reality capture solution, but what you may not know is that the solution is far more than just a scanner. It was conceived as a true 360-degree solution consisting of both hardware and software. So in short, it is an integrated system working in perfect synchronicity to amplify your productivity. And at its heart, the solution consists of this Rtc360 scanner and Cyclone field working in tandem in the field and pushing all of that information to Cyclone Register 360, which has been updated to give you near fully automated registration in the office. But first, let's take a look at the scanner itself. So the Rtc360 is the fastest, the most agile scanner on the market, and it's incredibly precise. With an incredibly short learning curve, as you'll see. I think we've really distilled this down to as simple a process as we can. So when we say fast, everyone likes fast. Fast means you're getting more work done more quickly, more projects can be completed, and more money in your pocket, right? But what do we mean when we say fast? It is 2 million points per second. That is at least twice as fast as any other system on the market. Additionally, we are collecting full dome HDR imagery in less than a minute. And we have upgraded the system so it requires no leveling, letting you move around quickly and complete your job as fast as possible. So all this translates to as little as 26 seconds per scan, depending on your settings, which is kind of incredible. Agile, likewise, the Rtc360 introduces this new concept of the visual inertial system. Essentially, it's eyes on the scanner that tracks where you've been and where you're going. Guy will go into some more detail on that in just a moment. And it's highly portable. So we've done away with the bulky survey tripod down to this carbon fiber tripod, again, letting you move around quickly and be agile yourself. And lastly, letting you work quickly as possible thanks to the in-field app of Cyclone Field 360, which lets you check your coverage as you go along and correct mistakes as they may have happened. And so lastly, precision. Precision is what you've really come to expect from us at Leica Geosystems. We've made some great modifications to the scanner that let it capture better data, this concept of the double pulse, which I will also go into in a minute. And we've armed it with really wonderful cameras that capture true color fidelity so that you aren't just getting exceptional points, you're getting exceptional color as well. So again, this isn't just a scanner, this is really an integrated system. The Rtc360 and Cyclone Field 360 working in tandem, and all of that being fed directly into Cyclone Register 360. But then also pushing that data into our consuming platforms as well, so TrueView and Jetstream, both of which have been updated with new features that let you actually make use of all of this wonderful data that you are collecting with the Rtc360. And of course, TrueView and Jetstream are the foundation for so many of the point cloud experiences that you have, from CloudWorks to Map 360, and a range of other applications that really make use of their platform for collaboration and sharing. So all of these innovations we've packaged into this incredibly small, intuitive product with an incredibly short learning curve. I think you'll see from Guy's demonstrations just how easy it is to use. And we've worked hard to really streamline that end-to-end process for you. I think that users of Register 360 who are familiar with that program will now feel really at home in the Cyclone Field 360 tablet app, and likewise those whose first introduction is to the Rtc 360 and Cyclone Field 360 will feel very at home when they bring their data into Register 360. But for all of you who have been in this world for quite some time, this might sound a little good to be true. 2 million points per second, incredible accuracy, no leveling required, and auto-registering in the field. But I'm going to turn it over to Guy now for him to give you a little bit more information about these technical innovations and how we've done that. Just share.
Great, thank you, McKenna. That was a great start. This really is an exciting system. Some of the key features, as McKenna alluded to, I'm going to go in a little bit more detail. First, with the 3D data collection, talking about the laser and this double pulse, this incredibly high resolution, high color fidelity HDR image collection system. And it's a really groundbreaking visual inertial system. It basically has an IMU with eyes, we like to call it. Finish it off with an explanation of the Field tablet, Cyclone Field 360. This runs on iOS and Android tablets. And then finally, the power of Cyclone Register 360, which would take the data in from the RTC solution and then register it in the field. Great. Here's a video of the hardware. The scanner is a very compact system. You can see the cameras here. We can see the laser device inside the camera, inside the system. It has 4 Viz cameras and 3 HDR cameras. You can see the spinning laser. Here's a visual system camera here inside the system. Shows you where that is. And then from this side here, we have the another look at the HDR cameras inside that allow 3 cameras to take the full HDR image very, very quickly. And the 3D laser scanner. So this is really where the rubber meets the road. I mean, the scanner is only as good as the laser that is used for collection. Super fast, up to 2 million points a second, and highly accurate. McKenna said very precise. We've been in this business a long time, and we understand there's a lot of different color surfaces out there, and we've done a lot to make sure that we included a laser with that it was fast, that its ability to collect high dynamic pulse ranging for bright and dark surfaces, and then retain the precision, the high quality returns for those lasers. So the double pulse, what does this mean? So we send out 2 pulses for every shot, and then we analyze the results. Basically, we send out a pulse that can capture light surfaces and dark surfaces. And the results of this, and you can see in this photo up here, we have a P40 scan up top, and we have the RTC scan at the bottom. This is a black car, and this is usually a very difficult to capture, black or shiny surfaces. But with this double pulse technology, we've really nailed it with the ability to capture these very difficult surfaces. Here's an example of the high quality measuring on very difficult architectural surfaces. These tend to be very fine detail that's hard to capture, and certain laser scanners just don't do it well. These lines represent section views of some very small detail, and you can really see here the fine detail without the noise. The system does a great job of capturing this and then filtering out the noise and presenting you with a very crisp, clean surface that's even finer or cleaner than the P40. They've really done a great job. So also, collecting images. Sometimes collecting images takes a while. Sometimes they're not HDR. We've heard from the field that they want to collect their images. They're very important, but they don't want to wait for them. Well, now we have this HDR system inside this scanner has 3 high dynamic, high color fidelity cameras that will capture a full dome HDR image in 5 brackets of exposure in 1 minute. Combine that with the speed of the scanner, and as McKenna says, you can do a scan as fast as, scan an HDR in 1 minute and 30 seconds to up to 3 minutes for the highest setting. So very quick, you can be on a setup and then get to your next setup. A little bit more about the cameras. There's 3 of them. They're 12 megapixels each. 12 positions are captured, 5 exposure brackets, and again, in 1 minute. And they're collected, processed, calibrated, color corrected, and HDR merged and stored, all in that 1 minute. Super fast, super high fidelity. So the other advantage of the 5 bracket capture is that for each one of those 12 positions, we'll capture 5 exposures and then combine them, and then you can take advantage of that. So in this example, you can see here that the exposures are taken in a dynamic range and then combined. So when you view the images together, here is an example of a image captured in the dark room where the light only came through the door. As the image is then applied and combined together, you can then be able to see any part of the room, even a dark surface down here to the left. You can even capture that, all the way from the light coming through the door here. This is the advantage of a high dynamic HDR camera system. It really makes capturing this very difficult low and high exposure scenes very fast and very well and very accurate. So the heart of the registration, what makes this register, what is this visual inertial system? So it has the ability to combine these visual system cameras, which are in green here on the graphic, combined with the IMU. So we like to say it's an IMU with eyes. And what it does is the IMU senses motion, and then the camera tracks where the system started from and where the system, or the scanner ends up in the next position. This all happens automatically, no user input. You simply start the scanner, it takes the scan, stops, you pick up the scanner with the tripod, and you go to the next position. Here's an example here of how you would just start the scanner. You would then do a scan. You would then use the field app or not, it's optional. And you can see here the person just starts the button. It does a scan, and this is an example of what the scanner sees with the visual system. And you'll see in just a minute that as soon as we move the scanner, these visual system tracks targets that it identifies, and so it knows by resection or by the visual system where it was and where it ended up. We call this a visual delta pose. And this dynamic way of detecting where you are forms your registration, either in the field with the tablet or simply move the scanner around and then bring it into Rtc360. Here's another innovation, double scan cleaning. If you want to just spend a little extra time and capture 2 scans in the same location, we're going to go ahead and collect both of those scans. And let's say you're in a busy intersection or people are walking by the scanner. The system will then detect and pick up what was there in one scan compared to what was there in the next scan and clean out those moving objects automatically. And so you have, if you want to spend a little bit more time in the field, you have most of your noise completely removed as it's brought into Rtc360. And again, this is completely automatic. It detects there was 2 scans taken, and then applies this cleaning algorithm and presents you with a clean point cloud. It's very, very nice. Okay, Cyclone Field 360. This is the, as McKenna mentioned, this is a total solution. So we have the scanner, which can be connected to a field tablet, either iOS or Android. And the Cyclone Field 360 is used to view your data in the field, check and verify that your scan positions not only are collected correctly, but can then properly register to the position that you just collected, right? And so you can do this visual check. And another advantage of using the tablet is that you can use tagging. And by tagging, we mean the ability to capture movies, images, or sound bites, sound recordings in the field, and then attach and tag those to either a coordinate inside the setup, or you can attach it to the project. And so you can add a lot of valuable information. You can also take measurements too in the field and then attach all this valuable information directly to the setup or to the project. It's your choice. So there's a couple different views we have in the field tablet. You have your 2D view, which is a top-down view, and you can see in this view that the red lines represent the visual inertial systems linking of the setups. As this person went through this example registration, you can see how they started the scanner and then they walked through the project, and these links are created automatically. So in the field, you can actually see whether you've completed, you've captured what you wanted to capture, everything is captured the way you want it, and your registration is set the way you want it. The advantage of using the tablet is that you know what you've captured and what you might have missed. Also, you can view your HDR imagery. You can also view the rainbow intensity and as well as grayscale. You can also view your tags and measurements in the field, as well as make measurements in the field. So you can do all of these processes on the tablet in the field. Everything is saved back to the scanner. So everything you do, whether you're registering, whether you're tagging, whether you're joining setup in the field, everything is then written back to the scanner because there's a real-time synchronicity going on between the tablet and the scanner. So in the end, all this data is stored back in the scanner, so then you just take out the USB stick from the scanner, and that's the total collection of the whole day. Here's an example of using the tablet software. You would start a job, you would create a name for the job, and then just use the keyboard on the tablet to do this. And then you can take a picture that represents the area of the job that you're working on. In this case, we just took a picture of the office. This right away forms our job. Then you just start your scan. When you start your scan, it starts and finishes the scan, and then it shows up on the tablet, allows you to view the scan, make sure you have what you want. Then you pick up the system, move it to the next position, start the scan again. Then you see the next scan pop in. Then in the field, you can do this linking and verification and do a mini visual alignment in the field that forms and optimizes the links between the two setups. So you can verify that indeed you have a good fit, right? So you can do all this checking in the field. Here's a view of both scans coming in. You can also take measurements. You can see the measurement was drawn here. This is then written to the scanner, and then it's imported into Rtc360 in the end. You can view your normal intensity views, your grayscale views, of course, and of course your colored cloud views here on the tablet. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and give you a live demonstration. So we've seen in the past slides how the scanner collects the data and how the tablet software can be used in the field to form this registration. So once that's done, the USB stick, there's a special high-speed USB stick that's on the scanner. It can hold up to 50 positions. Then you remove the stick from the scanner. You would then put it in your the laptop or the desktop for the consuming application, and then you would open that project inside Field 360. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. All right. Okay. So we have the we have it up here. We have this is a cycle and register 360, and we're going to go ahead and start a new project. So we can go ahead, and I have some projects already loaded in here, and you can see here that these projects, the thumbnail project and the information here is just what you would see on the tablet when you're in the field. And so this is very good because you have the same views of the project that you have in the tablet that you have inside the software. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new project. Okay, and then we're in the software. So then I would take the information from the USB keys, the USB key, and then I would drop it into Rtc360. In this example here, I have this large project. I'm just going to grab a couple of the project folders and use the drag and drop technology, and then drag and drop it into Rtc360. And you remember that in using the field tablet, you can form these links in the field. Whether you use the tablet or not, the visual system will add these links for you. They're just the tablet allows you to do a visual check of them in the field. Okay, and so here we see the setups come in. This was a project of a church done in Georgia. And you can see here the red links represent where the Field 360 form these links between the setups here. And what we have, and for the first time ever, is this lightweight preview object, or this lightweight version of the scan that you saw on the tablet if you used it in the field. So it's really nice. In the import area, before you start your heavyweight import, you can see what you scanned in the field. There were 2 jobs created. Remember in the movie you could create a job? And so in the first job was the outside was performed. In the second job, you can see here that the inside was scanned. And you can see it's all properly stitched together. You can see the red links in here. So another benefit is that the RTC has 3 sensors in it. It has a altimeter sensor, it has a GPS sensor, and it has a compass inside of it too. So for each position, if you have the sensors turned on, every setup will receive this valuable information. And what you can do is when you import it inside of Rtc360, you can then use the mapping software, and then it will detect where the scan positions were taken. In this case, this is the GPS location related to this job. I'm going to go ahead and just get my image and then use the next button to place the setups in the proper location where they were captured. And so, of course, it's only as good as the GPS that was, the detection that was used. And in this example, in this next job here, this was all done inside. So the GPS signal is not quite as accurate. And when I bring up the GPS, you can see I'm a little bit off, but I can just zoom in here, and then you can see the same church area at the inside. And go ahead and just gather the image, and then place my setup. You can see again, it's a little bit off, but you know you can always, with the power of 360, you can always kind of move it into place there and get this going here. So with both jobs done here, you can then combine your jobs. So I'm going to take the inside and drop it into the outside site map, so I can combine these jobs before import. Okay. So it's a very nice thing to do. I can also use our Smart Align technology to join these links. You can see I've created a link here, right? And I've done this all in the pre-import area. So along with the speed, accuracy, and simplicity of Rtc360, using all the cores and all the speed that we can based on the system you have, we can bring in setups as quick as 5 minutes with full HDR per setup. So in this case, I could just go ahead and press my import button, and then the import would start. Maybe in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, all of these would be brought in. I'm going to go ahead and kind of skip over the import because we don't have time to show you all that import coming in real time. I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring up this project here, and we'll bring this up. Okay, and you should see it in just a second. Okay, here we go. Here's what the project looks like when it's brought into Rtc360. As I've created those links. So here's the power of the RTC systems. For the most part, depending on your workflow and workflow processes of RTC in the field, you can bring in a project that's almost completely done or completely done just by the press of the button. The power of the visual inertial system combined with the power of the tablet software that allows you to complete or nearly complete your registration even before the project is brought into the registration software. Okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and bring up the bundle view. And this shows you the setups that were registered. There we go. You can see here, got some good nice coverage around the building. Of course, the inside of the church was captured. I'm going to go ahead and fly inside here. You can see here's the setups inside the church here. And you can always go ahead and then go to your next position, right, and fly around and check your registration. I'm going to fly back outside here, and then go ahead and fly to one of these positions here. And you can see our HDR imagery that was captured, right? This is full HDR, very high fidelity capture that was happening here. And so all these setups are combined into a nice registration using the visual inertial system and with the with the Cyclone Field 360 tablet. I just want to emphasize that using the tablet software does allow you to add tags and do a field verification check. However, you could just run the system using the visual inertial system by itself without the tablet. The tablet does add value, but just to emphasize that it is an optional step. We will use the visual inertial systems delta poses, what we call them, setup positions, to form this registration even without it. So once you have your registration, you check your values. Go ahead here. You're going to want to go ahead and use the power of Rtc360 to go ahead and check your overlap, check your cloud-to-cloud values. There's no targets here, and your overlap and your overall bundle error. Here's the readout of all the errors and the global errors in your registration here. We also want to make sure to use the power of the True Slicer. And the True Slicer is used to check. I'm going to go ahead and just turn the setups off here. Here's a view of all setups that are colored. All the scans are colored differently. You can tell in the overlap area where errors may be and may be occurring in your registration. So we can go ahead and just move the slice down and then move it to the registration. And so you can constantly see here, and you can see here's a great view of a column area where 3 or 4 or 5 scans hit this column. You can see how nicely they're overlapping. Okay. So this is the viewing in the top-down direction. However, we can also view in the other directions here. You can view in the Y or the X. So you can just view make sure your floor and walls are nicely registered together. And this is all done with the Power Rtc360 True Slicer. So you can also view this. If you have a representative view of the registration, you can go ahead and take a picture. You can capture the screen. This will be included in the registration report. You can take a couple representative pictures of the quality of the registration to make sure that the person that looks at the registration report can understand that not only are the numbers good here, but the visual checking using the True Slicer was another step of validation. Because it's never enough to just look at the numbers. You always want to make sure that you look visually at the whole registration and to make sure that you have what you need and to put your name behind the registration with the power of the Leica RTC solution behind it. Okay, I'm going to go back up to the sitemap area here. I'm going to turn back on our setups. So once you've done your visual checking, you've got your background image here included. You can advance to the next step. With the power of Rtc360, we do guide the user through import, which is where we started. Now we're in review and optimize. We have the next step called finalize. I did want to also bring up that for each individual step here, we have an assistant panel, which basically guides you through all the important parts of the program using the embedded videos. Each one of these represents a video, tips for viewing, how to join setups and bundles together if they're not all joined already, and then how to use True Slicer. And so for each step, I'll just advance to finalize. That's the next step. Another set of videos shows you how to use all the tools in this area too. So just another great usability tool for Cycle and Rtc360 here. I did want to go ahead and show you that in this last step, we call it finalize because this is your last step to look at your bundle errors and also to set your view. This is the view for the report, right? So we want to adjust the view. Maybe we want to turn on the labels for the setup of the report. Maybe we don't want the background image on. Maybe we do, right? And this is all would lead to the picture that you want to have end up in the report in the end, okay? And so I can go ahead and accept this here. And so I've accepted the view, and I want to go ahead and then advance to the next step, which is the report area. And the report area is where you would see the final generated visual report of your registration, okay? And so I can go ahead and scroll through the report, and you can see here that we have the sitemap. We have all of the relevant information here that leads to the reporting of the errors of the bundle in general, right? The overall error. We have this quality matrix. And the quality matrix lines up all the setups that were used, and where they intersect between two setups is the quality of that link based on the error numbers. And so you can see in a large registration, you may have a couple grids here that show you the errors of the entire registration, because there were like 30 or 40 scans here. We also bring up all of the errors from all the links that were here used, all the way down. We have the detail view, which provides even more detail. And so we have a representative visual report. And in the end here, down here, we have those True Slicer images that I took, right? Here's all the images that were taken that kind of prove or validate some of the numbers, right? So it's always good to take these and have them added into the report, okay? Okay, so that is all the steps here. You can then go and publish your report, and I'm going to go ahead and close, and then just go straight through the report area, and show you. I wanted to show you one other advantage here. We have also I wanted to show you some of the other enhancements inside of Rtc360 when it comes to the BLK. So when you import BLK data, we also have auto registration methods we use for that too. We have an auto cloud that can automatically detect surfaces and combine the registration. And so I'm going to go ahead and fly into one of the setups here. And the BLK has an IR camera inside of it, right? And so we can go to the IR image. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the point cloud and then turn on the IR image. Here's the IR image that is imported if the IR was collected in the field. And you can see here this is a temperature map that is applied as an image. And what you can do is you can go ahead and click and get a measurement from the IR image. So anywhere you click here, we can go ahead, and you can also have this in Fahrenheit too. You can have the temperatures read out in both pieces of software. Okay. So go ahead and cancel this. We have for both of these projects that you are looking at, we can then export these in all of the normal formats. We can export them to our Jetstream Enterprise. We can export to TrueView Cloud. We can export to our TrueView Enterprise. We can also export in E57, PTG, PTS, all of these formats. You can do a batch export. We also have our new file format called LGS. And you can, this is like a Geosystems export format. This is a brand new file format that we have. So either of these projects I just showed you, we can export these out of the program in the LGS file format. So what I wanted to do is show you what happened. So let's say let me go ahead and just bring this up here. Let's say I exported this one, and bring it up here in a sec here. This project in the LGS file format, okay? And so what happened is we produced this brand new file, and I just wanted to show you an example of what this looks like here. All right, so let me just bring this up real quick here. So here's the file exported out of the software, right? I'm going to bring this up in our viewer product. So now we're in Jetstream Viewer. So I've exported the LGS file. This LGS file contains the point cloud, all of this HDR imagery, and IR imagery was included, and it's the sitemap information. And this is the sitemap that you saw inside of Rtc360. I can go ahead and click on a setup and fly in, and you can see the data looks exactly the way it looked like in Rtc360. I've got all of this valuable information here. I've got our HDR imagery, you can see here. And if you look at this slider up here, when I bring up the HDR version of the imagery, you can see we apply an auto brightness. So when we zoom into places, it automatically brightens the area, right? So this is the HDR version of the imagery. So you can look at bright and dark areas in a dynamic way, right? Versus the standard imagery here, right? And so this is all very, so we can also fly out of the cloud and then view the entire project. And so it looks very, very similar to Rtc360. Okay? So I just wanted to make sure to show you that this brand new file and what it can do for us. So let me talk a little bit more about this brand new LGS file with some slides. And so let's go ahead and talk about this brand new LGS file and what it can do for you. And so this file, the LGS file, can be exported from Rtc360. It can also be exported from Cyclone Core. I also did want to bring up that even though Cyclone Core is not part of this demonstration, Cyclone does fully support Cyclone Core, which includes our Cyclone Register product, fully supports the RTC data that importing and registration. So the new LGS format, what is it? Well, it's a single file format that is exported, again, from Cyclone Core and Rtc360 and contains all of your digital reality content. It replaces other formats such as TVG and JSV. It's readable by the full HDS software portfolio. So I showed you Jetstream Viewer, But as soon as you export, it's importable into all our other products, and I will show you that. It's enabled by the Cyclone Publisher Pro license, and it's powered by Jetstream technology. So you could have Jetstream Enterprise, or you could simply export the LGS file and then import into our consuming product. Okay, and so who's LGS for? Well, everyone who needs to use 3D digital reality data. And what's nice about it is that the LGS file is supported across our total solution. So our Cyclone the CloudWorks products, our TrueView products, and our core products, and it's powered by Jetstream. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit more about the other products and how the LGS file can be utilized across more of these platforms. So this is inside AutoCAD, and I'm going to go ahead and just bring up AutoCAD and then show you the new AutoCAD for CloudWorks. And we've enabled the LGS file format in this product. Okay, so you can see here in the upper left here, we have this new feature called Open LGS File here. So we have, instead of having to have the Jetstream Enterprise solution, you do not have to have the Jetstream Enterprise Vault or Jetstream installed at all. You can just export the LGS file from our core or 360 products, and then you can simply just click on the Open LGS File button and then bring the cloud in. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this. Okay, so here's the point cloud inside of AutoCAD, opened with Jetstream technology from a single file, and it shows you the entire cloud here. This is powered by Jetstream, so it has all the speed and functionality of Jetstream packaged inside of a file. We also have the ability to view all of this rich panoramic image data. So I'm just going to go ahead and fire up TrueSpace. Some of you may be familiar with this. So this is the data showing all of our high dynamic range imagery here in the TrueSpace window, and it also drives the view inside of AutoCAD. You can see how the information streams in and is viewable, and look at these two views, right? Very fast, very nice. It allows you to have all the benefit of all these layers, HDR layers. You can use the IR layer to view it, and you can, of course, use our HDR panoramic layer and view that too. You can also just view, of course, the normal hue and intensity, and then, of course, the HDR layer there. And so that's all available for you, all packaged inside of this one system. The other advantage of the LGS file is that once published, you could then, of course, I've shown you how you can load it into AutoCAD. You can load it into all of our other CloudWorks products. So that whole screen that you saw with all of our other CloudWorks products, whether it be for MicroStation or 3D Reshaper or IMS, it all supports this LGS file import. So, and you get all this rich functionality, all of the image layers involved there too. So here is an example also of it loaded into TrueView Cloud. So you can take the LGS, you can publish directly, of course, to TrueView Cloud from Cyclone Register 360 or Cyclone Core, or you can just take the LGS file and then directly upload it into here. And I'm just going to show you here how you can just view that. So here's the view of the same church that you just saw in the Jetstream viewer, and you just also saw it in AutoCAD. The same view is in TrueView Cloud, right? You've got the same layering information, right? You can view the HDR layer, right? And this is, again, so you can see the brightness here. You can adjust this. You can adjust the brightness because we're using HDR technology here, right? And so you can view that anywhere you want to. You can also view the intensity layer or the hue layer, right? You can choose to view all of these layers and get all this rich information that you come to expect from like a geosystem. Okay, so that was the consuming products. That was here's another view of AutoCAD here. Okay, let's turn this down here. And let me give you a little bit more detail. Oh, yeah, and I did want to mention also Jetstream Enterprise. So for the Jetstream Enterprise, we basically have the, here's the admin tool for Jetstream Enterprise and Jetstream Enterprise. So this is the admin tool. And I did want to bring this up because the LGS file is supported for the Jetstream product also. So if you own Jetstream and you have a file, a LGS file, you can then take that LGS file and import it directly into your Jetstream project vault. If you have uploaded a project into Jetstream Project Vault through an LGS file, you can also export that file back to LGS, okay? And so files are tagged. It's because the LGS file does require licensing. So if a file was uploaded to Jetstream Enterprise, you can then just download that valuable information back into a file too. So throughout our entire product line, the LGS file is supported out of all of our main core products, Cyclone Register and Cyclone Field 360, and again into all of our other products. I did want to go ahead and go through the slide of Jetstream and make sure. Okay, just to reiterate that it does work in all of our consuming products. So, want to finish off here with just a final view of the registration here, and also just to reiterate that if the registration doesn't come in a completed way, and just as an example, I'll just delete this one link here. Say this one didn't come in or didn't get attached. The power of Rtc360 makes it very, very nice. Even if the link, you deleted it and you didn't mean to, or it didn't come in for some reason, the positions are still valid. The positions come in even without the link. So in this example, let's say this link didn't come through, right? But the position still comes in. So you could have many setups that maybe the viz system was turned off and you didn't mean to turn it off, or maybe it was deleted, or maybe you deleted it. It's very, very simple to go into the software, select your positions here, and then go into visual alignment, right? Here's the visual alignment of these two setups. You can go in there and then move them around, move them into position. Here's your side view, and get these positions quickly because they're already really close. The visual system's already put them very, very close together. So you can select them, select your visual alignment, and then your join and optimize. Go ahead, the link was added. Optimize your bundle, and then that step is completed. So even if it's not 100% ready or finished, you can then go ahead and then go through these very simple, quick steps, then complete your registration inside the software in a very, very quick way. So just to recap, the total solution does include the scanner with the visual inertial system with high-speed HDR capture. This ensures that a lot of the registration steps, or a lot of registration processing is completed in the field. The Field 360 tablet can ensure project that you have completeness in the field, because you can see the scans, this lightweight version of the scan come into the tablet. You can ensure that you've got coverage, that your links are good. When you bring them into the import area, you can have another chance to look at the links. You can then apply GPS so your map is located on the Slippy map, and then you import. Most of the registration should be finished, or in some cases it's all finished, and then you can just go through and you can add additional links if you want to, or you can simply do your true slicer check and to make sure that the numbers match the quality, fit quality. Very important step in our system, and one that is sometimes overlooked, but the true slicer makes it very, very easy for you to go through and make sure that you've made the right choices on your way out. And to get that auto registration step completed. All right, so I think that is the full demonstration of our RTC Complete solution. And I'm going to hand it back over to McKenna.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Doug. That was an excellent overview of that end-to-end solution. It has sparked a lot of interest. I'm getting lots and lots of questions, and please continue to add them to that question box, everyone. For anyone who is asking questions about purchasing or renting or anything of